Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Gina. I'm so glad that you're joining me today. This is a channel where I share with you about my knitting adventures, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you find something that you enjoy here. I hope that this will be a shorter video than usual since I am creating this only about a week since my last video. So I do have some updates to provide, as well as some new cast-ons and one finished object. So I'll jump right into the finished object. This is my KP Yoke Rasen sweater, which is a pattern by Ririko of Hand Knit Life. Let's see, this was published back in 2020. I think I might have bought it when it first came out. This was a middle of the night purchase that I made when I woke up and couldn't go back to sleep when in the middle of the night, and as many of us do, I think I was browsing Ravelry and really fell in love with the boxed pleat. See if I can get it to focus on that. The boxed pleat was my favorite feature. Oh, it's trying so hard to find my face. Yeah, loved that. I also thought the spiral staircase pattern at the top was pretty. Yeah, and let's see if I can move back a little. Let you see the whole thing. I do have some a video of me wearing this, and I will insert that over to the side so you can see how it hangs in full length. So I made this in linen quill. Let me just reach down and get my notes that I dropped. This is made in Purl Soho's linen quill. This is not the yarn that was called for. I almost never use the called for yarn, so I just use what I have. Let's see, and this used, so I made the size 5, which is the 46.5 inch bust. The suggested ease on this was 3 1/4 to 6 inches, and mine would be 6.5 inches of ease based on my upper bust measurement. So if you haven't been here before, my upper bust measurement and my full bust measurement are quite different. There's a 6-inch difference between those. And so I, like many busty people, have found that garments fit me better if I will use my upper bust as the measurement to judge what size I should pick. So I was within the suggested ease for this if you are taking that from my upper bust. Let's see. So like I said, I used Purl Soho linen quill, and I used about 2.7 balls of this. I didn't weigh, but this is just my eyeball guesstimate. So that's about 1,185 yards. And as far as modifications, I don't know. I don't think that I made any. Well, actually, see, I started this back in February and I was not keeping very good notes, but you know, now that I think about it, since this is a round yoke construction, I bet you that I moved the sleeves back. So one of the easy ways to make a full bust adjustment, if you're like me and you have that big difference between your upper and your full bust, an easy way to account for that difference between your back width and your front width is to move the sleeves back in a circular yoke. Circular yoke is super easy to make the adjustment on, because like literally all you do is, instead of you know, putting your sleeves stitches on hold where the pattern tells you to, you just figure out how much extra width you want in the front and how much you want to take off of the back, and then move your sleeve stitches back. And yeah, so it's like a quick and dirty way to do a full bust adjustment on a circular yoke. And I've done that successfully several different times and have been really happy with the result. If I don't do that, what ends up happening is, one, my garment will ride up in the front really badly. So like at the bottom, I can't stand up high enough, but like the front will be hiked up while the back is quite long. And so that is one result. And then the back also just sort of poofs and billows out because there's just way too much fabric in the back. If you don't make that adjustment. And it's especially like, it's worse in the bottom half of your garment, because what happens like with the top half is your bust steals some of that width, the extra width that's in the back, and it will pull that forward. But then once your bust is, you know, like has dropped off and you're just back to your like stomach, you know, your torso width, there's nothing to steal that fabric forward. And so it just like poofs out in the back. And doesn't look good. So ever since I found out about this like really easy way to adjust the bust on circular yokes, I have been doing that. And I have caught myself on my notebook here, caught my yarn. Okay. So yes, I did make that modification, and I should go add that to my Ravelry project notes in case anybody else is interested in that. Speaking of Ravelry project notes, I do put a link to all of my projects in the description. So if you're interested in reading more about these, you are welcome to click those links and take a look at them in Ravelry. Sometimes I keep really good notes and other times I don't keep good notes, and I will tell you, I usually don't post a lot of like progress pictures and stuff as I go. I'm not very good about doing that. But I usually do try to keep a basic amount of information in there just so that I can refer back to it in the future. Because like if I knit with linen quill again, which I definitely intend to, I really enjoy this yarn, you know, I want to be able to see what needles I used for this gauge and so forth. This is knit at quite a loose gauge. I think I use size 5 needles for the body, and linen quill is a fingering weight yarn. So that's quite loose, but it makes it very airy, very drapey. And I think it's gonna make it so that I'm able to wear this further into the spring than I would be able to wear a longer sleeved wool, alpaca, and linen garment than I would otherwise. If it were knit at a tighter gauge, it would be quite a bit warmer, but it's quite loose and it is knit at a loose gauge. So I think I should be able to wear it. So really happy with this. I said I wasn't sure about how I like the A-line look on me. I'm still not 100% sure how I'm feeling about that, but I think it looks okay. And definitely as I'm in my 40s, I'm, you know, appreciating more and more those loose fitting garments that you just don't have to worry about as much. I just wish that my body shape was one that worked better for. I would love to be, you know, the art teacher in the long tunics and loose pants all the time. That would be so comfortable. Unfortunately, I think that is just not, doesn't look as good on me as some other styles do, because things just come over my large bust and then hang down like a tent. And yeah, but I think this one looks okay, and it has some, does it have waist shaping? I think it just flares, and so it kind of does have more of a shape than it would be if it was just boxy and straight down. It comes down and then increases out, so it kind of creates a little bit of a curve there for your waist. Yeah, so I think I'm really gonna like this next year. Sadly, I didn't get it finished in time to really wear it this year, but that's okay. I didn't roast when I was taking the pictures outdoors for this, because we were having a sort of weirdly cool week here in May. Usually it is warmer, but it has been really beautiful, like in the 70s this week, and I definitely don't want to wish that away. So yeah, the main feature of this that I loved was the box pleat. So I think those just look so cute, and it was very well explained in the pattern. I've never done one before in knitting, and so I definitely followed the tutorial, but there's like a picture tutorial as well as written instructions for how to do that. So it was yeah, quite easy. I did not find anything tricky or difficult in this pattern. I thought it was really nicely done. It is very size inclusive. It goes from a 35.5-inch bust to a 63 inch bust, so lots of sizes in there, and it's not one of those where it just like goes up in huge increments because they're counting on, you know, 2 to 11 inches of positive ease or something there. I think there's like 10 sizes or so to choose from in here, so yeah, highly recommend. Yeah, and it only has like, I think 60, it has under 100 projects on Ravelry, so this is, yeah, a less well-known design, but I think it's very simple, but also very pretty. All right, so moving on to whips. I do have several whips to show you. One of those is the movement tee here. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Yeah, so this is my movement tee, which I showed in my last video. I had started it, I think I was maybe about right here. I had gotten it joined in the round. And this is a pattern by Lily Kate France that I picked up when she was doing a spring summer sale a while back at the beginning of the season, obviously. And I knit mine up in drops Belle. I talked last time about how much I was enjoying working with the yarn. I was really surprised because normally I'm not a huge cotton yarn fan, but I quite enjoyed it. However, I think I mentioned last time that I was worried about running out of yarn, and I did. I ran out of yarn. So I ran out of the, this is the color Cherry. It's my main color. I think I have enough to be able to finish with the contrast, which I can't remember what color that is off the top of my head, but this lighter pink. Have enough. I should be able to do the last 3 stripes of that, but yeah, I ran out with one half of a round to go in this larger stripe sequence here on the bottom. So yeah, that was really frustrating because I did buy this from overseas. I bought this yarn from Rito.com, and I went back there to order more of it, and unfortunately they were sold out of the Cherry, and it was on back order. I think expected it to come in July or something. So I just can't wait that long to finish this. And so I went over, because I figured at this point, if they have sold out of it and are getting a new shipment in, it is not likely to be the same dye lot number. So I might as well just go somewhere else and buy it. So I went to lindahobby.com and purchased 2 more balls of this, which should be plenty. Hopefully just 1 ball. But anyway, I wanted to be sure that I did not have to do that again. So yeah, I mean, there's only probably 2 to 3 hours of knitting left on this. So it's really frustrating to have run out so close to the end, because I just have 1 more of the 3 stripe sequence and then the hemband to put on, and it will be done. And I think it's so cute. You can see what wonderful drape it has. There's the side view. Yeah, I'm really excited to have that done. So hopefully that comes in pretty quickly. Yeah, we'll see how Linda Hobby says that they have shipped it. I have not gotten notification that it has actually started overseas yet, because I think Linda Hobby is in Denmark. I'm not sure where Rito is from. It's somewhere in Northern Europe. it may also be in Denmark. Yeah, I did place an order of Rito, which I'll talk about from Rito. I'll talk about in a little bit when I talk about acquisitions, but yeah, so that one is on pause, and since that one was on pause, I had to start some new projects. So last time I mentioned, or I showed my Umbria by Cookie the Knitter Umbria summer top that I'm working on. I have not made any progress on it. I talked about last time I'd sort of fallen out of love with that one. I was not enjoying working on it, so yeah, really like 2 rows. I've done 2 rows or so since last time I showed it to you, so I'm not gonna bother showing you that one again. There's nothing new to see there, but I did go ahead and cast on Everyday Attitude by Susanne Sommer, and I've gotten some progress on that, so I will show it to you. So this is the front. This little guy here is the front, and here's my back. So with this one, you cast on stitches. How do you do it? You cast on stitches for the back. This is the back section, and you increase out, and you come back and you pick up stitches for your front, and these are going to be like, these are the sleeves that we're working on here. So this will eventually sit something like, sorry, I'm not getting that to lay correctly. Like, the little chevron, I think, is the like, that goes down your sleeve. Just kind of hard to show right now because the fronts are on hold. They have not been joined. So these little front guys, these are going to be the front sleeves. I think we're going to cast on, once I get the back knit down far enough, then we'll cast on, knit some more on those sleeves and then join those. But right now I am decreasing on my back. And it's gonna come down and make like the sleeve opening. Yeah, so this is a really interesting construction. I've definitely never knit anything like this before. Using this construction, it's all garter stitch, which right now is really nice. It's going to be less nice, I think, when I get to the point where it is joined in the round and then I'm having to purl every other round, but I can do it. The yarn that I'm using for this is Berroco Remix Light, which I want to say is categorized as sport weight, but I'm using it as a fingering. That's what this pattern calls for, and that's what like all of the Ravelry comments about this yarn were like, it is really a fingering weight. So yeah, working on this, yeah, nothing really to report yet, one way or the other. Like, I am enjoying the pattern in that it is simple, but it is also interesting. Like, I've never done this construction before, and it makes the pretty little chevron triangle situation that's gonna go down the sleeve, and I think that's really cute. So yeah, this one was nice in that we went on a little lake retreat this past weekend, and it was about 3 hours from our house, so I knitted in the car, and I just made myself notes about what I was supposed to be doing because it was like a four row repeat, and so I just made myself notes so I didn't have to have my iPad open in front of me that whole time and was, you know, making tick marks to keep track of how many I had knitted. And yeah, I got quite a bit done, knit on this. We got to, at the cabin that we went to, they have a boat that comes with it, and so I got to actually like knit on the lake, driving around on the boat. That was fun. I was not driving, I was riding. So yeah, it was a good day. There will be some good memories attached to this. Yeah, so that's the Everyday Attitude. I'm making the size 3. And I did have some trouble getting gauge on this one. The recommended needles were like size 3 or something, and I mean, I think I'm working on a size 5 now. I kept going up and up and up, and I need to go back and measure my gauge again now that I'm working on the project and kind of see where it stands before I get too much further. I really need to do that to make sure that I don't end up with a terrible situation. But yeah, making some good progress on that. And then the surprise project that has stolen my heart, is this one. So this is the Stars Hollow Pullover, by Sari Nordlund. She released this last year. I feel like it didn't get very much attention, but I think that the cables are just so pretty on this. Can't turn my mannequin around here, but yeah, we've got a similar pattern to this one, like going down the center of the back. You can actually see more of it on the back since the front neckline is lower than the back. But yeah, so I'm making this in Knit Picks Andes del Campo, which is a fairly rustic, I'm assuming Peruvian highland wool. Sorry, I'm looking around because I don't think I have any of the yarn labels with me, but I got this on super sale at Knit Picks a year or 2 or possibly 3 ago. Like I want to say like $2 a ball or something, and it's a heavier weight, like an Aran weight, which is what this pattern calls for. And I thought that this natural undyed color would show the pattern really well, and yeah, so I just went for it, because I had 10 balls of this to work with, so that should be plenty for this. I'm making the size 3, which is the 45¼ inches bust. So there's a suggested ease of 8 inches, so I am not doing that. Like that's a lot of ease. So mine will have 45¼ inches of ease, or sorry, 5¼ inches of ease, which I'm hoping is plenty. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody else is like this, but whenever I go on vacation or leave the house for a couple of days, I always overpack my, on my knitting, because I had that everyday tee and the everyday summer top, that I had cast on for, and I was like, I'll probably work on that the whole time, but I also took the Umbria, just in case, I needed to vary things a little bit. And then I also grabbed a ball of the Andes del Campo and I downloaded the pattern for this just in case I needed something else to work on, because I was kind of worried about my hands working with all of this cotton linen yarn, like you start getting hand strain, or at least I do. And so I was like, I might need some wool to break things up. And so I brought this with me, and on the morning that we were at the cabin, I woke up before everybody else a couple of hours and got up and made myself some coffee and then knit on this. Cast on, I can't turn it around. You start on this one with the back neck, you cast on, and then you increase out for your back. And I was really enjoying the cabling on this. I do not consider myself a cable knitter. I only did my first major cable project 2 years ago, I want to say, and it was a Sari Nordlund. It was the Belle pullover, I think was the Belle. And then I have done a few other cable projects since then. But yeah, I have trouble with like directions, orientation, and so cable knitting, it took me a while before I could really like see the like read the chart and see what I was supposed to be doing just from looking at it. Before it was always like I had to color code it, and then I had to go over and see like what the instruction was for my color coding. Like you need to move the stitches forward, pull them to the right. But now I have finally gotten to where like I understand what it is I'm supposed to be doing, so I can just look at the direction the cables are facing and know, okay, I know what I'm doing. I also because I can't handle doing anything the slower way, I do try to cable without a cable needle as much as I can. Another reason that I think cable knitting is hard for me is because I have been a really tight knitter in the past. I've gotten better, so I don't knit quite as tightly as I used to, but I think I'm still tight, a little bit tighter than average, and so I think that makes cabling harder because like the stitches, like even with a really woolly wool like this, my stitches still like want to like pull back in when they get off of the needle, like they want to suck back down into the knit. So there's only one cable in here that I can't do or can't consistently do without a cable needle, and that's a 4x4 cross. And so with that one I have been using the cable needle, although I did one this morning, or a couple of them this morning, where I didn't have to use the cable needle, but I was in a very still place and able to concentrate and keep an eye and a finger on my stitches to make sure that they weren't going anywhere. But yeah, this one's been flying off my doodle. So I've only been working on this since Sunday morning, and this is Wednesday. And I have gotten it this far. You're always, or at least I'm always so excited to knit until I get it joined in the round. And so I have gotten in the round. And then last night I went ahead and put on the collar so I could like see where everything was sitting. Modifications, I did make one modification, which was partly a mistake, but also, well, it was, so what I did was I knit further down than the instructions said before I started my increases. And that was partly because I usually have to increase the depth on things because of the boobs. So a lot of times I will have to knit a lot further in the yoke part of a knit, including those drop shoulders. Maybe even especially in the drop shoulders, I have to knit further than the instructions say to. And I really didn't know what I was doing when I did that. Like, I mean, it was just sort of like vibes. I was like, I think I'm gonna need this longer. There was nothing scientific to me deciding how much longer. I was intending to knit to the neck size up, like the number of inches for the neck size up, but then this is the part where I said partly this was just an error. I actually overshot that by a little bit because I just misread the pattern. So, but I think trying it on, like it seems good. Now, without the sleeves being added, I can't say for sure. So we'll see once I get the sleeves on if I have created some kind of a problem where there's going to be like too much, there's going to be bagginess or something in the front, but hopefully not. Yeah. So this one's coming along really well. And I will say that like this was supposed to be a rest for my hands, but I don't know that cable knitting was really the best way to do that because, like I said, I'm a tight knitter, so I'm not really getting that much of a break on my hands, although the yarn is much easier to work with. So let's see, anything else I need to say about this one? I'm really enjoying it so far. Pattern's super easy. You start with the back, increase out, knit down, do your increases for your armholes, and then you come back and pick up along the back shoulder line. And Sari has you put on locking stitch markers, so like it's super easy to see where you're supposed to be picking up to and from. So that's really nice. Also, I don't think I've ever seen another designer who's done this, but in this pattern, she has already color coded all of the cables for you. So this is something that I always go in and do myself as soon as I start to work with a chart pattern, is, you know, like all of my left leaning or left twist or whatever will be yellow, and all my rights will be pink. And I like to color code too for the different kinds, not just for the direction, but also, you know, the 3-2, 2-3, you know, 4-4, whatever. I like to color code all those. She hasn't done that, but they are all color coded according to whether they're left or right leaning, which is really, really nice. And this one is basic enough, like there's not enough different kinds of cables that I'm doing okay with just the color coding that she's already included. Yeah, so I really appreciate that, and I wish more designers would do that, because it would save me valuable knitting time if I didn't have to go in and do that. I did last year download the full version of Knit Companion, and you can use Knit Companion to do that. I did import this pattern into Knit Companion. I don't always use it just because I find it kind of fiddly and sometimes more trouble than it's worth. But with a more complicated pattern like this one, where there's just a lot going on, I did want to import it. And you know, I'm going to be doing this chart over and over, and so I really like that you can advance, you know, and it will highlight the line that you're on. Yeah, so there's some features of Knit Companion that make it worth it for a cable pattern like this for me. But yeah, so that one is going right along. And the last time I said I don't ever do acquisitions, except, you know, when I showed you my thrifted stuff. But I did want to show that for Mother's Day, I got a little Amazon gift card from my boys, and so I used it to buy this book. This was actually a pre-order. It just released, like I think this is the pre-ordered version that just released today or yesterday. Moosh and Friends. Originally this was published by like Lina, I think, and so I couldn't buy that one online. Like I think that was only, you know, sort of yarn shops in person had it, or at least it was not available on Amazon at the point that I was looking for it. But they did have this one for pre-order, so I think another press must have picked this up and republished it another round. So a viewer had recommended this to me in the video where I showed my disassociation Stanley. I'll put a little picture of him up here. He was knit from the Louise Crowther book. I think it's called Knitted Friends. And yeah, super cute, but also all of the animals are knit flat and then seamed up, which the seaming wasn't so bad, but the knitting flat was just, it was a lot. And it's intarsia. I mean, that's maybe part of the reason that it's knit flat, is because it is knit in intarsia. And so a viewer had recommended this book if I was interested in knitting stuffies, but in the round. Yeah, so I ordered it for myself. You see these guys? So there's another set of them. Let's see. Some of these are really cute. Here's Hazel the squirrel. I think she's cute. I will probably make her. And oh, here's the bison. So the state that I'm in are a place where bisons were. I mean, we still have bison, but they're in preserves and stuff now. So I think that he may be the first one that I make. His name is Forrest. There's a little lamb named Aggie. Let's see. I think the pigs are really cute. There's a pig. Fat Squirrel makes, is that her name? Something about squirrel. She made some, I think, from this book. She made one of the pigs, and it turned out super cute. Oh, I think Nana the duck is very, very cute. I think I will be making that one. Yeah, so the patterns in here look definitely much simpler. They are made in the round. There's still some cute clothes like Horatio. Let me see if I can find him. Here he is. He's like a donkey, I think, or a horse. And I love his overalls. I think they're really cute. Yes, so they have the accessories, which I liked. I think the animals are definitely not as realistic. You know, if a stuffed animal can be realistic, they're not as realistic as Louise Crowther's. I don't find their aesthetics to be quite as cute. Like some of them, the heads are just really small in comparison to the body. And so I think the heads where there's less going on just look kind of weird to me. Maybe that's why I like the pigs, because there's like, you know, a pig nose, and like the bison has more going on and the Horatio does. So yeah, so I will definitely make these. I'll give a review once I have made the first one. But yeah, just at first glance, they don't look quite as cute to me as Louise Crowther's, but if I never make any of the Louise Crowther ones because like they're such a pain, then maybe it's worth it to have slightly less cute ones. But yeah, so I'm still excited with that. The book is really pretty. It's on really nice thick paper. Each animal has its own section, and I checked out the Louise Crowther book from the library on Hoopla, and so that was one of the frustrating things about it, was just that I was borrowing it and using it electronically, and so I couldn't mark up the pattern like I can, because I will be, you know, marking stuff off in the book as I go, probably with pencil, but I will still make marks in my books. I'm an English major. We write in our books. It's what we do. It's how you show that you love and care about a book, is that you are marking it up. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And look how thick it is. It's just a big book. Lots of information. So I'll report back once I have knitted one of those. I'm sure I will make one in the coming months. And then finally, this is an acquisition that hasn't arrived yet, but it is supposed to come today. So, I talked about, you know, needing to order more of the drop spell. While I was doing that, I did go ahead and order some more drop spell, since I had enjoyed working with it so much in the movement tee. I ordered some in like a off-white color. And I am planning, I mean, I ordered more than that, but I ordered a couple of tea quantities. I ordered some blue on blue, I think, or maybe blue and white to do another movement tee. And then I ordered just a solid tea quantity that I am wanting to use to make Sari Nordlund's new Ebba vest that just came out. So I'll put a picture of that up. I thought that was really pretty, and I think that the drop spell should be perfect for it. And hopefully it won't take too long once it gets here. Because yeah, I think I should have the Ebba vest quantity sooner than I have this, because I had to order this from this being the cherry color from a second company, which has not shipped yet, or has shipped, but it hasn't like crossed the ocean yet. Yeah, so I think that is it. Look at me, under an hour, only 37 minutes. So for people who like a shorter video, maybe this one will be a little bit better. Personally, I don't mind long videos because I just turn them on and I am knitting. They're just kind of background for me, so long isn't a problem, but I know that different people like different things. So for the shorter folks, the people who like shorter videos, maybe this one will do the trick. I would love it if you could like or subscribe if you like what you've seen here. Yeah. And I like super would appreciate it if you comment. Like, the comments mean a lot to me. Obviously, I've also gotten some good hints and recommendations from folks through those. That's how I ended up with the Moosh and Friends book. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.